What is happening here? This is the first possession of the game. Why is every Jazz game a complete circus? Multiple screens, one switch, two switch, good night, done. What is happening here? Couple guys switching, couple guys not switching, whatever that was. This is coaching. This is disrespectful. Keontae George and Colin Sexton. I'm getting back to the three-point line, so I'm in the gaps. Luka Samanic. Get up and guard right here. Like, there should be help coming over here with Colin Sexton. You're above the three-point line staring at Jason Tatum. Samanic should be able to get up and force Drew Holiday into help right here. He can't. And now Drew Holiday's in the paint. And now this is directly off of a made basket. Directly off of a made basket. What was John Collins doing? Samanic. How does this off a make? People pay money to watch this. Will Hardy is disgusting. This is awful transition defense. This is not normal for an NBA team to be playing this way. Bryce Sensabaugh, you are back in help. Say it. Scream it to the moon. So Keontae George knows to force Tatum towards the middle of the floor. But you're not saying anything. And no one's trying here. Keontae George, you're watching Derek White set a flare screen. I'm yelling, flare, flare, flare. So Colin Sexton knows, well, first of all, stop doing whatever that is and get up and jam Tatum. Because you're going to have to get up and over the top of this flare screen. So that doesn't happen. So now we got to switch this flare screen. You're watching Colin Sexton go straight into it. Switch the flare screen. That doesn't happen. So now Keontae George has got to stick around because Tatum's wide open off the flare. And now Derek White's just going to come off a handoff that you can't guard. Will Hardy is trash. How do NBA teams play like this? This is complete trash. Luka Samanic is in the gaps waiting to help. Stop gambling if you're Chris Dunn and playing off. Force Tatum into this help. All you're doing is gambling and then backpedaling. When you have help. Do you know you have help? Do you work on this? Why is there any thinking here? It's Chris Dunn and Colin Sexton, guard to guard. It's a switch every time. You go over this in practice, in film. Switch every time. What is the talking and thinking about here? Why? Because the Jazz are poorly coached, Colin Sexton's going to be guarding above the three-point line and not in the gaps right here. That's why Will Hardy loses every season. He's a complete dumpster fire. But Lauri Markkanen, you've got to stay home on Xavier Tillman. I mean, Chris Dunn's doing a pretty good job one-on-one. You're in the charge circle for no reason. How does this happen? Why is Will Hardy allowed to coach basketball, ruining a franchise? This is embarrassing. Talen Horton-Tucker, underneath the screener on the switch. You clearly don't go over this. He's going over the top of the screener on the switch. This is embarrassing. Bryce Sensabaugh, why are you staring at this pick and roll? You're not a part of it in any way. And get in a defensive stance. See ball and man. You're studying and going into the paint for what reason? You're not ready to guard. Will Hardy is a disaster. John Collins is playing up on the screen. Good. At least you're not in drop coverage. But you must cut Jason Tatum. You got to get all the way up there. Jason Tatum cannot turn the corner if you're hedging a screen. Cannot. Sensabaugh's and backside help on Cornette's roll. You're not up enough. Jason Tatum is easily turning the corner here. The play is over. This is the Jazz being poorly coached. This is disgusting and makes me want to cry. Colin Sexton, you should be halfway between the ball and the three-point line in the gaps. So you're not because Will Hardy's a joke. But Luke Cornette, when he comes in the paint, John Collins, you got to muscle him and keep him out of the paint. Like, where's Colin Sexton? Why did John Collins let Luke Cornette just sit under the basket? This is beyond repulsive. This is notice the Celtics have 72 points at the start of the second half. Colin Sexton, get back. Please, now. You're not going for the offensive rebound. You're just standing, hopping around. And where are you going now? Why is this happening? Will Hardy is a national disaster. Colin Sexton and Keontae George, guard to guard. Why is this not a switch? What are you even doing here? What was that? What is Jordan Clarkson waiting for? You're going to be late to double. Just go now. This is a mismatch with Chris Dunn and Tatum. Sensabaugh would rotate up. Luka Samanic would rotate up to Drew Holiday. And then the dribbles picked up. That's all we're looking for. And then you're going to go overtake Tillman and bump Walker Kessler over to O'Shea Brissett. But you're waiting and waiting and waiting and never get there. Chris Dunn. What is okay, on this ball screen, I could ice this screen and keep Jason Tatum up towards the sidelines. No place for Xavier Tillman to roll to. I could also, if I need to, since this ball screen is being set into your half court, get up and jam the screener and let Chris Dunn go under and meet Tatum on the other side. What you cannot do is go over and just leave Tatum wide open for three. How is Will Hardy allowed to do this? National disaster. Keontae George is going to gamble and get beat right here, but Luka Samanic, stay with Xavier Tillman. Walker Kessler is helping at the rim. We do not need multiple Jazz players guarding Peyton Pritchard down low. Will Hardy is not an option. How does this not happen? This is not an opinion. You're going under the handoff. Kessler has to jam the screener, using your body, showing your hands, so Derek White isn't pulling off of this and Sensabaugh can actually go under and get on the other side here. You're not, there's no screen to get under here because Derek White's pulling immediately. That's where Kessler's supposed to be. This is why you hedge. Oh my God. This is why you hedge. You cut Derek White's dribble if you're pushing him out of the lane. Now Taylor Horton-Tucker, one step and I'm in backside help. If a skip pass is made from there, I have plenty of time to recover. But you let Derek White in the paint. So now Xavier Tillman's roll, he can roll much deeper. He's in the paint. So now Horton-Tucker's got to go to the paint. And Derek White, that skip pass is much easier. What is Keontae George doing? If a screen gets set, you will switch with Taylor Horton-Tucker, obviously. Why are you feeling out, leaning towards the screen, gambling, whatever that was? So now Peyton Pritchard's in the lane. Draw help at the rim. No one to box out Tillman. Jason Tatum in the high post, facing up Chris Dunn. First of all, you have help right there in the strong side corner. So why can't we shade Tatum into that help in the strong side corner? Show your hand. There's no place to go. But all right, Jordan Clarkson's going to come double here. Do you know this? Is a coach saying this? Did you work on this? Jordan Clarkson's coming to trap. So show your hands and force Tatum to the middle of the floor. You clearly don't know this because you're overplaying the middle of the floor right here, making sure Tatum can spin off you. Chris Dunn again is stuck in the high post on Tatum. I'd like to assume that there'd be some help coming in the middle of the floor, but it doesn't matter because Chris Dunn isn't even trying. You just gamble there and boom.